It is a timidity to feel that we may be selfish, because we have to accept that we have selfishness. Whether we accept it or not, it gives a greater pleasure to help others, and it is only for the pleasure of it we are doing it. And it remains to be a truth whether we accept it or not. So it is better to accept it. That's my conviction about the matter. When we are selfish, why can't we accept it? Then it goes away. I think we will not be confronted by such questions when we choose to place ourselves in a simpler society of a backward country, where we find less and less of complexes. That's the only thing we can do, because very easily we can find out what the other man needs when we go to a such country which we are proud to call backward. So we should take resort in a simpler society, and after some time, when the number of people who understand simplicity increase, we can find that the society in the advanced countries also becomes simpler. Until then, we have some difficulty in the so-called advanced countries. So, it is only the process of international brotherhood that helps us. Unless you are required, you cannot try to help anyone. That is always a fact. Place yourself in a society where you are required, and your sincerity brings people to you who require your help really. It is the instinctive human telepathy that establishes the contact between the helper and the helper. Beyond this, I cannot give you a better solution for the present. Yes. If you know that your love purifies you, it's no disqualification to your love. Okay. It gives you better taste. Anyhow, love manifests itself according to the degree of evolution in which we are. And evolution permits us to love as much as we can. And when once you begin to love the neighbor, it gives you pleasure. And it is an incentive and in no way a disqualification. Your love makes you do service without any intention or motive. And when you feel that you are satisfied, it's no disqualification either for your love or to your service. That is what I feel about the matter. And everyone is not fortunate to love his neighbor. When one comes to the stage of evolution enough to love his neighbor, automatically he feels the joy of it. And the result is service, which helps him purify his own vehicles. I think there is nothing that stops him from doing it when he realizes that his vehicles are being purified by service. Instead, it gives an impetus to his love nature also and purifies his love from the level of emotions to the level of devotion. That's what happens. It's no disqualification. Contraction aspect also in service, because contraction and expansion put together form what is called pulsation. And the formula of life is pulsation. For example, the heartbeat and the respiration. The mind also has its own nature of pulsation. Sometimes it expands and sometimes it contracts. And whenever we feel like helping our own people, it is the contracting aspect of love. And whenever we feel like helping someone who is in need, whom we do not know, it is the expansion aspect of love. And both are natural. That's what I feel. After there is the contraction and expansion aspects to love also. No one of these two is negative, because help or service is never negative, it is positive. But the expressions of contraction, as expressed in nerves and muscles, they are shown only when there is something suffering or negative. Whereas the expressions of expansion in muscles and nerves are shown only naturally when there is some experience of happiness. Even medically speaking, when there is a happy experience, there is an expansion principle working in the tissues and the circulation in general. And whenever there is a negative aspect like fear or sorrow, there is a contraction principle working in the vascular system and the nervous system. Therefore, when I spoke about contraction and expansion in the beginning of the lecture, I spoke only about the facial expressions of a person and not the contraction or expansion applied to service or love. When applied to service, both the contraction aspect and the expansion aspect, they work as positive sides, positive aspects, and both the aspects give happiness to the person who helps, because doing service always makes one feel happy.